Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone joining our webinar from around the world. Thank you for joining. We got this great webinar. We've been doing this regularly over the last couple of months, and folks really like it. And it's really bringing out the latest and greatest features of Workspot and sharing those with you. You know, you don't always know. They come out kind of a lot, and you might see the emails on them, you might not, but you might have questions. And so we're going to talk about those new features today, and we're going to show you a couple live demos also. Now, this is a live webinar, so make sure you get down in that question box and ask us questions as we go, because that's what it's all about. We're happy to share the insights that we have set and to answer the questions that you have, okay? And if you want to give us some input too on maybe how you're using other features or other capabilities that you know and love, feel free and we'll share it on the webinar also, okay? All right, well, hey, this is only a 30-minute webinar. It's a quick one, so we're going to run through this quick. We're going to record it. So at the end, I'll send that email back to you guys so you'll have a recording of this if you missed anything or if you want to share it. All right, so let's get started. Introductions first. Yes, I am Brad Peterson, Field CTO at Workspot, and I am coming in today from sunny Northern California. Well, it's sunny out, but it's probably about 57 or 8 degrees out, so not bad. Happy to be presenting and hosting today. And we also have a fine young gentleman from the engineering department. And Romy, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us where you're coming in from?
Hey, Brad, thank you. I'm coming in from San Jose, California. Been with Workspot for about 8 years now, or over 8 years. And yeah, a lot of sun out here. So looking forward to it, having a wonderful weekend.
And your role and responsibility and yeah, at Workspot.
Yep, yeah, the most important thing, right? Yeah, so I'm the Director of Product Management over at Workspot. I run a team of product managers and documentation folks, as well as work with our engineering team to get our features and our bugs and all this wonderful stuff built into our product.
Beautiful. I mean, you're the clearinghouse for this stuff. So thank you for organizing the topics that we're going to talk about today and then sharing them, okay? So a reminder to you folks on the call is just feel free to ask questions as we go along. Now, here is the layout of the agenda today. So we're going to talk about Workspot control features that are new and that have come out, and you'll see that in great detail. Next, we have not only the Windows client update, which is 6.2, but we're also going to talk about a couple other updates in there, the web client and the iOS client also. There's some crazy new features in there you're going to like. Now from there, we're going to go on to Watch. So Workspot Watch features, new features that have come out, and you might get a little extra surprise in there as well. And at the end, I'm just going to remind everybody about Workspot Community, which has a Slack channel for conversation, talking with the community, sharing and asking questions and so forth. And then our knowledge base, which is actually rich and we're adding content to it all the time. I want to make sure you know how to find those and engage with those, okay? So that is the agenda and the layout for today. So let's kick it off. Let's pop into the first section, which is Workspot control features. So Romy, why don't you go ahead and take it from the top?
Great, thanks, Brad. So we've had several customers who expressed a lot of interest in what we call our developer use case. This is a use case described for where companies need to share expensive resources like RPA servers or shared machines where they're used infrequently, but are needed for across multiple users. Also, admins can push one resource to multiple users in a shared fashion so that they can use the resource when they need to and let others use it when they need to. So that way you don't have to have a dedicated expensive resource just for one user. Another thing we have also that we built in is that companies are looking to how to reduce the human interaction and mistakes when deploying systems. So we've added a feature where you create a reference cloud app pool in control and use that APIs to clone that pool. You can use those APIs to get additional information and details on the pool, like server list details on the particular server. You can assign and remove applications or bundles to that pool as well. And something we are building in our product and in future releases will be empowering the users to enable and troubleshoot basic issues while simultaneously we are working on how to better resolve issues. This all starts with collecting self-diagnostic information from the client. We've enabled it to control and sent to watch. You'll notice an option that we've called enable end user diagnostics in the pool settings, and most customers, if not all of them, have it enabled, but as you go through and look at add new pools, that'll be turned on as default. And then when the clients support it, future clients, you actually get more diagnostic information there. And something that's a little bit down the ways that we're thinking about for the early part of next year is supporting the custom cloud app pools for application servers. So we told you about last time where we built the custom cloud for VDI pools. Now we're actually going to bring it in for the application server pools.
Hey, can you run over the kind of a description of custom cloud? I know we use that term a lot. Describe what it really means and how customers, it gives value to customers.
Sure. So customers are coming to us with multiple different uh, hypervisors they want to use because of the various, let's just say the term, looking for the right word, but also what's happening with our friends over in the other two major hypervisor providers, right? But so the other customers are looking for other options to go and deploy their cloud workloads or their VDI or cloud app workloads. So it's really a lot of work to go through and provision and do all that stuff through control. And customers say, well, no, we want to keep it on our hypervisor platform, but we want to go and manage, have Workspot manage the policies and the entitlements. So what we have this thing is called Cloud App or Cloud Custom Cloud, where we won't do the provisioning. The provisioning is still done through the various different hypervisors, and then we will just manage the policies as well as the entitlements and provide the client side interface to those resources.
Got it. Okay, so some examples of this is we certainly support a full integrated on-prem hypervisor platform for vSphere and Nutanix as a couple examples,
Yes.
right? But if somebody comes along with another one, I don't know, Oracle Cloud or KVM or something like that, that might not
Proxmox,
be,
those stuff, yeah.
yeah, that'd be a custom cloud. So it's not fully integrated, but if they launch the VMs themselves on those hypervisors, we can take all that information and glue it in with Workspot so that we can have the end user use a Workspot client, right, to get security policies and to get connected to the VM that they want to be connected to that was provided by the IT person. So it can still be managed and then monitored in all that way, but not fully integrated. So that allows us to actually work with customers that are using all sorts of different hypervisors.
Yes, and that's the key thing that you actually mentioned, Brad, is that all this data that we have, it'll be coming to watch as well. So you can monitor this and see what your estate is all, how it's working.
Yeah, and that's a big advantage because they probably don't have that today. And to get it, so the client and the security of Workspot is there and the observability is all built in is a big advantage as they're working on various hypervisors. So thank you. All right. So now we're going to go to the next topic, which is the Windows Client 6.2 release. So let's go ahead and jump into those amazing details.
Sure, yeah, at Workspot, it's never a boring week. We are always out there developing new stuff and releasing new stuff. I think you guys can see by our fast pace. So last weekend, we released the Windows Client 6.2 update. This is actually, the key thing for this one is that we've updated Secure Browser to the latest code base so it can support corporate access sites like SharePoint, Office 365, or Salesforce, or other ones that you want to use for your SaaS type applications. Additionally, we were always looking for security, looking at how we can improve our security posture. So we've actually added some stuff in the code so to make sure our secure vault is a lot more secure, has a higher level of encryption, as well as some other additional library updates that will make for a more secure client. Additionally, as part of that, some other stuff like we were saying, we're updating multiple different teams. So we've also released our web client update for 4.12, which has additional security measures for preventing tampering, as well as iOS client is updated to 7.2 that will support the latest iOS 18.
Excellent. Hey, and I got a couple questions for you on the enterprise browser. Folks haven't really realized that years ago, that's how Workspot started the company, right? It actually built the enterprise browser, and that was the only offering. And then people said, hey, can you add VDI to that? And so not only did we add VDI on-prem, but we added VDI in the cloud, and it was app, and it was desktop, and the whole deal. And now, enterprise browser seems to be even more important to folks, right? There was that notion that, browser-based experiences would replace everything that used to be Windows applications and so forth. Well, that's a tall order. There's a long tail there. Windows apps, supply chain management, whether it's that or whether it's patient healthcare or all sorts of other things, Windows apps will still be around. But new app development a lot of times is in the browser space. And so that means there's more and more users around the world, employees accessing their enterprise applications through the browser. So we'd better secure that and not just let them use any browser they want. And so you'll see other companies come out with this and offer it as well. Well, you should know Workspot certainly has an enterprise browser to secure those enterprise applications that come to these folks through a browser experience. and it's built right into the Windows client. In fact, the Windows 6.2 client, as you can see here. Now it's cool that it's got the DLP copy paste policy so you can control that. They can't copy things out that they shouldn't. So talk a little bit about F5 VPN support, because when you're using the client and you're doing a virtual app or a virtual desktop, it goes through the RD gateway, right? It proxies through there. But when you're using the enterprise browser out of our client, it's not going to go that route. It's got to get another route to get into intranet web applications, right, Rami? So maybe you can talk about that.
Sure, actually, you've pretty much explained it perfectly. So yeah, we're supporting VPN, the F5 VPNs, because a lot of organizations have like SharePoint that are installed on-premise, or maybe some other apps that are web-based that are installed on-premise. So to get into that infrastructure, you need to go and work through a VPN. So our first foray at this is the F5. We are going to be adding other ones as time goes on, but this was the first one to work with. And again, like you're saying, it does, it's for all those on-prem apps that they still have, the legacy apps that are using for the browser.
Okay, so that must mean that maybe in control in the admin space, you would configure the F5 parameters, so that when they got the client and they find, click the link to access an intranet, web application, that it would know, the Workspot client would know to, launch the enterprise browser capability and use the configurations that were given through Workspot control to get in through the F5 VPN and so on. And so there must be an F5 VPN client baked into the software in the Workspot client itself.
Yes, we have the client baked in there. That's
So this is good to know, right? For folks, it's like, okay, how does that thing get in? Well, it's got the F5 client built in, and as you said, in the future we'll add more, that are being requested, that are super obvious, that a lot of folks are using out there. But that VPN, by the way, isn't for other applications to traverse, like malware. That is just for sort of the Workspot client and its enterprise browser capability to create that tunnel and use that for enterprise browser traffic. True?
true.
All right, I like to be true. Excellent. All right, this was a good slide. Everybody loves this when these new features come out. They don't always know about it. That's what I love about this webinar. So thanks for doing that. And we must be covering this stuff well because there are no additional questions coming in. Oh man, Romy, you're killing it. All right. The next one here.
Or put them to sleep. One of the two.
No. I can see they're lively. We're hanging on every word. Now, watch 6.0 features. Okay, so this is observability, and this is where there's a lot of fun coming into this. So what do you got?
So one of the features we built in Watch is the ability to see a map view of where your alarms are coming from. This is a powerful way to troubleshoot where problems may be occurring. Maybe internet connectivity or infrastructure is down somewhere in a certain region or across the globe. With a map view, you can quickly see that maybe there's a pattern there that you can quickly look at and see, where to start troubleshooting, right? Instead of sort of, trying to look at a needle in a haystack. Another thing is, filtering is key to learning, right? And you're seeing a lot of noise in the system. So what we're doing is having the option there that our internal folks are adding, as they see problems, have the ability to add alarms and respond to alarm. Was alarm a false or was it was it resolved and stuff. So as we learn, we're going to be putting it in. And also you as an admin, when you're using Watch, can actually add also sending was an issue, was an alarm resolved, and if it was a yes or no, and was it a false alarm, and then we'll learn from that. And as the system grows and knows, we'll actually give you better data back and better alarm notifications.
Well, that kind of sounds kind of like machine learning and maybe a little bit of AI spun into it.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. All right. Hey, now, you know what? That's probably exciting right there, but why should we stop, right? How about giving them one more big one?
One more big one. So also in trends, the other thing that we also have been spending a lot of time on, we've introduced usage graphs. So you can quickly see the VMs you've deployed and how many are in use. This way you can optimize the availability and the cost of those VMs, because we all know that having resources is expensive. In our initial offering, the heat maps will show you how the VMs, how many VMs you have deployed at time slots and the varying degrees of red. So the more VMs you have, the deeper red you'll have in that time slot. As time goes on, as we add more and more features and more options, we'll be using the heat map to add additional exciting features that will be tied into control. So please stay tuned on that.
Beautiful. And now this is a cool part here, because with these two, it's very visual, right? And so what we want to do is go ahead and take a look at that live demo. on your screen, Romy, at watch and then also the transient map. Thank you.
Thank you. As you guys can see, hopefully you can see my watch. So in the alarms page, as I was saying, we have this alarms column now. So what you can do is that when the alarm comes up, and by the way, guys, this is sample data. Don't think that we're having a crash right here. This is our sales demo where we have our sales folks who actually demo this stuff. So we want to show an active system. Otherwise, you'd see a lot of green and it's kind of boring, right? So here in the alarms page, you will see all these options. So, was this alarm resolved? Was it not resolved? Or was it a false alarm? And if you hit resolved, you get a little pop-up here where you can say, what is the root cause, right? And we have a bunch of ones that are pre-done already. Was it GPO, iOS client, infrastructure specific, whatever you have there. And then also alarm resolution. Did you have to downgrade the Android client? Did you have to go and re-register it? Did you have to reinstall the gateway? So this is all stuff that we will learn from, as well as like I said, our internal teams are using this, and we will get smarter and smarter when it comes to what we show you and the alarms we send you. And also, as I said earlier, when you go to a desktop, let's say, for example, we have the map views. So this looks a lot of data over here, right? It looks like an eye chart, and it doesn't really give you a quick look at, where's all my stuff going on? So what can I do? I can hit on the map view and start seeing. So again, this is all sample data. So you see a lot of red. So maybe something in the UK is going on. So that way I can say, oh, I got issues in the UK, this region is, and you can see how the desktops are, what the problems are there. That way you can right away troubleshoot, jump in to find out where these issues are. And that's it from the watch and the alarms and the map view. Let me jump over to the trends, talk about heat map. So in trends, in the desktop pools, as it comes up, we have this usage heat map. So when you click on that tab, as we're waiting on the database, so you'll see the access heat map here. So what this shows you here is how many VMs do I have deployed. Let me actually take that's a lot of, we have 44 different pools here. So let's just go to one pool and apply the filter. So again, this is, you can see this across your entire installation, or you can just drill right down to individual pools. So here in this case, I have a one pool where I'm seeing this is my usage, right? And then also how many are paused, the little purple line down there. Also, this is what my access is. So maybe I have too many VMs. I've got 30 VMs that are haven't been used. So I could take that and say, okay, I'll 36 here. I can take that and I can maybe reduce it down to 15 because I also want to have some buffer if users come in. That's the access versus the usage map. And then the heat map, right? So here it is, we're seeing all our VMs we have. This is all the different time slots we have in the warm-up policies. And then if you have more VMs running, right, we have the number there. So it's all just right. I have 129 VMs running on Wednesday at 5:30. And I can question that, right? So why is that happening? So it's pretty powerful options we have now. And again, we're going to be building more features. So this is the introduction. And as we go through our development cycles, we add more and more features to this.
That's nice. So rather than trying to scan through and kind of read the numbers and figure things out, you get a visual color coding to tell you where there's some intensity, a heat map, right? And so that's cool. Let me ask, the features that we're coming out with as we do each, sort of couple of weeks, every quarter and so on, how would you say the percentage of these is driven by customer demand or product management, understanding what needs to go next? Do you got a feel for that?
Quick answer is yes. We are very customer centric. It's the customer feedback and customer features are very important to us. Also, we have, we had a history, a legacy, right, of being the thought leader in the space. So we also have, we think about what customers want, what do they need that we think as well. And then we also don't just go blindly on that. We do vet that with customers. We have different panels, and we have customers that are very friendly to us, so to speak, that we'll talk to and discuss features with, as well as get their thoughts of what they think they're looking for. A lot of stuff actually that's happened in Watch and Trends over these last few builds here is actually from customer feedback, because we say, hey, we want to build this out. What do you guys think?
Well, you know what? I just had an interesting idea for our future feature webinars. Is to bring a couple of those to the table, and we can use the polling mechanism to ask folks what they think, and we can get real-time feedback on features we're thinking of adding. And maybe that would, draw out even more attendance from all of our existing customers to really have an opportunity to kind of see what's coming, to vote on it, to maybe even to send us their requests afterwards, and really use that maybe once a month capability, that webinar capability to get all the feedback. That might work well.
Yeah, that's great to get feedback from our customers.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and send a note out to everybody and see if they like that. Maybe we'll start that in 2025 in January. All right. Well, thanks, Romy. Great demo. We're going to come back, and you know what I want to do to round things out here is just to show you and remind you, hopefully you've seen this already, but our Workspot community, okay? Now the community is, as you can see from the slide there, it's a couple things. It's a Slack channel and it's also a knowledge base. Now if you go to the Workspot website and you pop into the upper right-hand corner here, you can see it says our community. So you can click on our community. And when you do that, you come down below here and you can sign up for the community. I'm going to right click on this and open a new tab. And when you do that, this is where you can sign up for, a Slack. So if you want to join our Slack channel to become a part of that, that would be great. And then later on, when you come in, if you need to, you can always click on this link here to log into the Slack community, which is, where you get into Slack. Now you can run it through a browser. You guys that are using Slack, you know that. If you got the Windows app like I do right here, or if you got the browser, you can pop in either way and join the conversation. So that's that. And the last piece here is the knowledge base. So if I click on the knowledge base, that's going to open up the knowledge base tab. Now, you should also know that this is at docs.workspot.com. It's easy to get to, but you can also get there just off workspot.com. And you pop into here, and we just have taken a lot of time to get a lot of content laid out in here in a really nice and easy to manage way. You take a look at this, it's set up with a nice agenda on the left-hand side. So you're going through content in a sensible way. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the content and you can go straight into it, okay? Now, if you go back to the beginning, there is a nice little added feature that we added in here, which is called Workspot Feature Updates over on the right. And if you click on that, this is going to give you a laundry list of all the feature updates that we talk about, the usage heat map, right? We just talked about that. If you go back into here, things that you might not have known over time, global desktop, Azure non-persistent support, business continuity feature, VM sizing, dashboard and trends, so on and so on. There's just as these features have come out, if you've been kind of busy, you haven't really caught up on all of them, well, there's a great place to go to just pop through and read these things and figure out which ones are for you. And you can see they're all dated there also, okay? So that is that for our wonderful webinar today. Just like to thank everybody for attendance. Remind you guys that I'll grab this recording and send it off to you guys if you want to watch it again, if you want to send it to some folks to come up to speed on these features. And I will also send invites for the January webinar where we do the same. And like I said, we'll try to get like almost everybody there, and we'll do a polling on new feature ideas that we've got coming out. And who knows, maybe there's awards and prizes for features that get upvoted that came from actual customers or prospects. What do you think, Romy? Thumbs up, of course. Beautiful. All right, well, thanks everyone. I would just like to thank you guys for coming and joining us today, and I imagine Romy would too.
And happy holidays, everyone.
Exactly. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you guys again soon. Have a safe week and the rest of the year. Take care.
Take care, folks.